What's up, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Wake the Fuck Up. I have decided to create something new, create something different. We're living in a different world. Times are changing, things are changing. And as I, expressed to you guys in the original podcast, audio recordings of Wake the Fuck Up, times are changing, things are changing. We were becoming anew. We were preparing ourselves for this moment. We've always been preparing ourselves for this moment. We're light beings having a human experience. And, you know, in times of uncertainty, the only thing that's constant is change. The only thing that's for certain is our faith. The only thing that's for certain is that things are going to change and constantly change. And you can either accept it or you can live in fear and reject it. So, on this episode, I want to introduce you guys Saundra Alexander, coming in all the way from Bali, Indonesia. Gonna have a conversation of faith over fear. Check in with her over in Bali. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for tuning in. Stay lifted, stay blessed. Congratulations to your circumstances being so overwhelming that you have to connect to something
Something beyond it.
beyond it. Okay?
Beautiful.
And we've begun. Welcome to another episode of Wake the Fuck Up. Oh, Saundra. Interesting times, interesting times. Thank you for agreeing to, I would say, to be on the show, to have a conversation with me, but honestly, it's really to have a conversation with me and connect.
Yes, you're
Grateful
welcome.
for it. Yeah, so
Oh,
congratulations.
let me see your sweater. The universe is rooting for you. Absolutely. Perfect message.
The universe is rooting for you. Yes, always. Just rooting for us to, hopefully decide to say congratulations to ourselves and meet ourselves.
Congratulations on these uncertainty times.
Oh man.
Congratulations on this isolation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations on community. Congratulations on choosing love over fear.
Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations on choosing love over fear. Because love is really all that there is, right? Everything else is just what fear, anger, lack, limits.
It's taught.
Man. So what's going on in Bali? Tell us what's going on in Bali. What's going on in your life?
So, some people may know or not know, I live in Bali, and let's start with saying it's different from the Western world because Bali is a small island. So the medical here is obviously not as advanced as larger countries, which could be a little scary, not per se for me, but for the Indonesian people who can't afford the medical care if they truly need it. Also, Indonesia, these people start smoking at a very young age. So scary times for them because they already don't have a strong immune system. That thing in the background. So today is actually March 24th. Let me wait for them to stop a little bit. So it's March 24th, which for them in Hindu religion, New Year's is tomorrow. So you could say it's New Year's Eve here in Bali.
Yeah. She
That
is
is a
16.
temple.
So she's 16 hours ahead of where I am in Los Angeles. It is 9:02 p.m. March 23rd, and it's the night of the new moon, and we're in Aries. And so I think it's so interesting how they're having their New Year's. Technically,
Now,
astrologically, it is the New Year's, right?
yeah. So what I was gonna say is, as far as like what's the difference right now, I honestly think after tomorrow, which is like a big religious holiday for them as well, it's called Nepi, which is a silence day for it. So the whole island shuts down, regardless of coronavirus going on or not. Like the island would be shut down, no one's entering, no airports are open, no restaurants, everything is completely shut down, and families go inside, they meditate and they reflect. It's like a silence day, no internet, no TV, no reading, nothing. So that's happening tomorrow, and I think after tomorrow is when the Indonesian government is going to have like a shutdown.
Interesting. Have there
But they
have been
planned this for
discussions on
like a
that?
month. Like, yes, there's been discussions on this. I think for a long time they kind of hid what was going on because they didn't want tourism to stop.
Hmm.
Bali thrives off of the tourism here. That's how they make their money. And now that it's, globally spoken upon, the government had to speak upon it, and they're no longer giving out visas upon entry. You have to already have a visa to come to Bali. So I really think it's about to get real as far as they've recommended social distancing here, but like I said, people make their money off of tourism, so they weren't really taking it serious until like this last week when they stopped doing the visas.
Interesting, interesting, interesting. And it's such a the community there is like everything is based on their belief systems, right? They wake
Mm-hmm.
up in the morning, they do offerings, there's prayers, there's meditations. Almost every family lives on a temple. Like the houses are on a temple, and it's community. You have like the entire family living on a grounds with a temple
Mm-hmm.
in the center, and like so it's like the complete opposite of what we have going on here, right? Whereas I'm sure the first thing that they start doing is prayer and meditation and calling on like their ancestors, and
Mm-hmm.
have a most people, they have a strong belief system, right? Because it's kind of how the it's what the culture is there versus
Yeah,
like
it's
yeah.
Hindu here, so they do a lot of rituals, and they pray to different gods as well. And they believe like in the five elements and praying to the universe and receiving from the universe, which is beautiful.
So they have that faith thing down, right?
Yeah, very much so.
So I'd be very
Um,
very interested to see like what we've had here is what a lot of panic and anxiety, right? We have a
mhm.
lot of people who, the unemployment rate has skyrocketed, and people are not receiving income at the moment, and in fear of, are they going to lose their place where they live? Are they going to be able to pay for groceries? Are they going to be able to, live life, period, take care of themselves, period? Whereas I'd be interested in seeing what it's like in Bali, where community is, it's like the standard there. So I'm
I,
sure.
I'm I'm curious to see too. I think really these next 2 weeks is going to, I guess, reveal more of what they're actually going to implement here. So before I got on the call, I was trying to understand like what today represents, because I know in the community they're building these really large monsters that they build every year,
Hmm.
and they have like normally they have like this big festival slash ceremony where the kids carry torches and they burn them.
Mm.
And so the lady I stay with, she was telling me it's basically like the demons. It's representation of like burning the demons. And so I looked at I googled like what today meant, and it was saying it's like an exorcism of the bad spirits.
Mm.
So like each village builds these, and I'm talking about big monsters like 18 feet tall, like these.
Mm.
Think about like a pinata, but like a big ass pinata,
Yeah,
like
that
in
would
the
be
shape of a
fire.
monster. And so I know Bali canceled a lot of the ceremonies, like a lot of, because usually it's like hundreds of people walking down the street, and they've canceled some of that. But then, like, as you hear the temple in the background, people are still going to the temple because
Hmm.
that's just their belief and their religion, and they're not really taking it, um, not gonna say as serious, but they're not living in fear like we are in Western world, and they're not panicking and locking themselves in because, like I said, here they thrive off of community. Like if a fence broke today, it would be 15 people here trying to fix it together. It's not like they're gonna call someone and hire one person to come fix a fence. It's like
Right.
community work.
Oh,
So
you got
I'm
yeah.
curious to see what it's gonna be like in a week or two, to see how people are gonna make money. It's gonna be really sad because they're not gonna be getting euros and the US dollar the tours and Australians. So we're gonna have to come up with something to make sure that our family is good, and we're all taken care of.
I think that, what you're talking about is the uncertainty that everyone is experiencing right now, the
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty of, well, I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Are they going to, is the stock market going to crash? Are they, I don't know, are the lights going to go off?
The
If
grocery
somebody,
store is gonna close.
like, if somebody,
Mm-hmm.
I have a job today, I might not have a job tomorrow. I have a place to stay today, I might not have a place to stay tomorrow. Like there's so much uncertainty. Well, what's going to happen, when I think people are kind of like, okay, and how many people are going to get sick, and when are we going to get back to normalcy? But in actuality, everybody's like living in this uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
um I know for me to kind of like move through it is staying as present as possible, right? Because how I see it is all I have is the next day I get up, right? That's
All we
it.
have really is the present moment. We're not
That's it.
even guaranteed the next day.
Right.
So we might as well be present, like protect our peace.
Exactly. That's all. If I wake up the next day, that is every day that I'm granted is the only day that I have. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that is, one of the key things for me when it comes to uncertainty is like remembering to live in the present moment. And I'm interested in seeing like what will change in your day-to-day routine in a week from now versus, where you're at right now. Do you feel like you've had to change anything in your routine, I'd say within what, the last week or 2 weeks, or
Yeah,
as far as lifestyle changes?
we've stayed inside this week. We went out. Basically, we've practiced social distancing. We haven't really been in contact with anyone other than the lady that we stay at her home, Sage Rose. She drops off breakfast in the morning, and even then, we're not in contact with her. But that's the only person coming into our home.
Mhm.
We don't go out anywhere. Like we tried to go to a waterfall the other day that was closed. So all of the tourist locations are already closed down, which that changed in a week. The only time we go out really is to go get groceries. And Kristen goes to the wellness clinic sometimes, but she was telling me she went yesterday and she told me like they're about to close that down. So I mean, we're doing what we know the states and Europe and Italy, everyone is practicing around the world. I don't think the Balinese necessarily get how serious it could be spread or fast it could
Yeah.
be spread if we come in contact with people that are sick.
Right. I think with the slowness of how people's bodies are reacting to things is also, causing a delay. That, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. That's one of the things I do not focus on, right?
Mm-hmm.
um News or what could happen or any. All I know is today I'm healthy, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't feeling well on Wednesday, I told you, and I thought I had a fever, and I literally slept all day, woke up Thursday, thank God was granted a new day, and I was feeling so much better. But today I
Mm-hmm.
know I'm healthy, and today is all I have, because I don't know, the uncertainty of everything is just it to me, it just is, it is what it is.
What it is. Absolutely. And also too, like one thing I've always practiced and I learned from like Michael Beckwith is during the uncertainty times of throughout life, you always have to, or if you just want new answers, you want new answers to emerge, you have to ask the universe empowering questions. You have to keep in mind that God, the universe, is life force, whatever you want to call it, is uh non-judgmental. So it's going to say yes to whatever you're putting out there, the thoughts that you're thinking, the thoughts that you're speaking. It's just going to grant you yes, the answer yes. So I think if we shift our focus on from fear-based questions of what's going to happen or am I going to get sick into empowering questions of how can I grow during these times, empowering questions like God, please use me today. I don't have the answers. Show me
Right.
how I can, be present in this moment, or show me how I can give to my community, or allow me to have health and wellness.
It's
So
like
I think we definitely have to shift our mind
mindset.
frame.
Hmm.
Yeah, our mindset consciously right now, especially during these times. Of what do we want to create for our life? Because every thought is shaping
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm 100% in agreement of having to shift the mindset, because it's, you can sit here and you can say, oh, woe is me, I've lost so much already. Or you could say, all right, what is this allowing me the opportunity to do? What is this?
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I'm a firm believer in feeling your feelings and sitting in whatever you need to sit in to process it. And I'm also a firm believer in not staying in that. right? And this is a
Mhm.
beautiful opportunity for people to feel, if they need to feel grief, if they need to feel depression, if they need to feel loss, to feel what that feels like and to figure out what's triggering that. And then to say, okay, cool, got it. This is my life right now. This is my life today. And what do I want to use, this gift that I've been given, this blessing of another day of life to do, right? A lot of us
Mhm.
have way more. I know I don't, but a lot of people have a way more time on their hands than they did before, and there's a lot of beautiful creativity that's coming up,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of, hey, congratulations, you've been isolated so that you could sit with yourself, right?
Mhm.
Really take this opportunity to like sit with
Be
yourself.
still.
Yeah, like.
And as a reminder too, it's like obviously people are gonna have different feelings or reactions based off of their circumstances. Like healthcare workers, for example, I have so much compassion and I'm sending them so much love because they're putting themselves out there in like having a lot of faith, as I would like to call it, because I have a friend who was just telling me, like he can't use any gowns or surgical masks in where he works in a hospital because of the shortage. And I'm like, wow, you have to have faith to wake up every day going into something uncertain and just having faith that God is going to protect you and you are loved. You're
Mhm.
surrounded by love and protection. So obviously there are going to be people who feel differently, but for me personally, I just, like you said, I want to stay present and remind people that take away all the labels that we have put on ourselves and given ourselves. We come here to earth to be, and if you go back into time, like people weren't being so much. And I feel like now God is like, sit your ass down and just sit still. Stop being so much other than just your true authentic self. Because if you strip away your work title, your financial situation, your family, your house, whatever, your true essence of who you are is still going to be there.
Right. And this time is providing people the opportunity to be like, well, who are you? Do you
Mm-hmm.
even know who you are?
Yes.
I shared with you
Or
that
what
I
do I
was
need to work on? How can I grow spiritually? What do I need to work on?
I mean, because this time of uncertainty is bringing a lot of shadow up for people,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's bringing a lot
Mm-hmm.
of triggers up for people. And if you aren't present enough to realize that it's not the current situation that is like the reason for why you're feeling what you're feeling, but this is a reminder of something that you've already been through that's causing you to trigger and feel the same way. So what you're responding in is in a survival tactic, because
Mm-hmm.
the first time this happened to you, the first time you experienced loss or abandonment or any of those things, you stored that within you. And so right now what you're doing is responding in a survival mode that you've responded to in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we're presented the opportunity to just sit and be with ourselves and figure out why we respond in that way so we can heal that part of us, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I'm not saying that might have not faced this before and haven't healed a bit before, but I've done a lot of work, and I was triggered not to I was triggered within the last week, and that's because healing is done layer by layer by layer. We just peel back the layers so we can get to the core of it, and each time we react less and less. So, if people are going, I feel like this is a perfect time for us to sit with ourselves and say, what is coming up within me right now? What is this
Mm-hmm.
fear actually from? What is this fear really the root of, so that I
Mm-hmm.
can overcome that. And with every new day I'm granted, I can live my life regardless of what my circumstances are right now. I can take whatever it looks like and I can live each day to the fullest. you know
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I learned when I was forced into resignation a few years back, is if I had known then what I knew now, instead of sleeping next to my bed the night I was forced into resignation, I would have lived every day like it was my last. I would have gone on
Mm-hmm.
hikes more. I would have just painted more. I would have, you know, been outside more. I just would have lived more life instead of feeling like my life was coming to an end because something was taken from me, you know? And
Mm.
what I was able to discern like a year later was that the entire being of who I was tied into that. Does that make
Tell
sense?
them why you slept next to your bed, though.
I slept next to my bed because I was like, I'm gonna be homeless. I'm gonna be homeless. The only job that I had, my source of money, what I felt back then, my source of money was this job, and it was taken from me. So I slept next to my nicely made, comfortable, beautiful bed and slept on the floor because I swore I was gonna be homeless in a few weeks. So I needed to get used to what it was like to sleep on the floor.
Isn't it crazy what fear will put into your mind and make you do when it's just so unnecessary?
Listen,
That was just suffering. You were making yourself suffer because of
boom.
what you thought was going to be your reality.
Exactly. Exactly.
But
Exactly. And that's why
but
suffering is
at the end
optional.
of the
And
day,
suffering
you
is
made more money that year than you did working that job that next year.
exactly. Exactly. Not one time did my higher power ever fail me that year. Every time I thought I was about to run out of money, another source of income would come in, or a check would come in the mail, or just I went to Europe that year. I contracted all year, and everything always worked out for me. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Everything always worked out for me. And all I had to do was have just a little bit of faith, a little bit, like the smallest
The
amount
faith
of
of a
faith.
mustard seed.
Period. Period.
Yeah.
And what actually happened not too long after I was forced into resignation is when I met my first spiritual teacher, and for the next 2 years I did esoteric studies. All I did was
Mm.
learn and heal and shadow work, and learned all about being a healer, and what it means to be empathic and clairvoyant. And it was divine. Like, it was so divinely timed. I look back on everything. Man, I cried like super hard too when I got forced in resignation. Like, you would have thought somebody was telling me that I was gonna like die in 30 days.
Mm.
You know, like
Mm-hmm.
that's how much I tied my identity into a
An
job.
illusion. Yeah, because it didn't kill you. Losing that job didn't
No,
kill you
exactly.
or create homelessness.
I never was homeless. I never had to worry. I always had gas in my, I traded my car for a new car. I always had gas in my car. Oh, my bills were always paid. My rent was always paid. I I look back and I couldn't tell you how it just happened. All I had to do was have a little bit of faith and have the will and desire to keep going, to keep expanding my mind. That's when I learned over time that that source is my source, that God is the
Mm.
plug. The bank isn't the plug. My job isn't the plug. Bank of America ain't the plug. Dow Jones ain't the plug. The government, nobody is the plug. Source is source. That's when I learned
Mm-hmm.
all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me to go through what I went through to get to where I'm at now, right? So
Absolutely.
you can lead a horse to water, you can put a book in front of somebody, you can show them the passages. And I don't know, some people might learn from, listening to other people's stories, or reading it. I know for me to really glean it and to really know it, I had to go through it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that I think that's what faith is. Faith is just saying, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I believe in something greater than myself. I believe that I can have peace within. I believe that everything's always going to work out for me. I believe that, all is well and all really is well. And,
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes faking it till you make it, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes faking it till you making it, saying it all day, every day. It's like within 30 days, you're saying it because you believe it and you say it. And that's life now,
Mm-hmm.
Because at one point in time, I didn't know what an affirmation was.
Facts. And,
Yeah.
and I think that's why it's important too to even like put it in younger children, the people that you are around mind. Like, I can do anything, you know, you can do anything.
Yeah.
That, I think I've always been taught that as a kid, like, you are loved and you can do anything. And that really stuck with me in my adulthood. So
Do
it's
you do
like
that with your sister?
all the time. I told her she's beautiful so much because I feel like she's at the sixth grade, you know, the year where you're changing and you're looking funnier than your other years and you're
Middle
insecure about
school.
certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, middle school. And I always told her, like, you are so beautiful, you know, and I just
Mm-hmm.
really encourage her to continue to follow her intuition, you know, do things that she knows are right and not necessarily the peer pressure of like what her friends are doing. So that she's smart all the time. And really she can do whatever she wants, you know, whatever she's curious about, try. I encourage her to just try new things.
When you affirm your life, do you write it down like and place it in a book, or do you put it like in your mirror, or do you like how do
I
you?
mean, I've done it all. To be honest, I've written it in journal. It started in journals, I think. I never thought I was going to be a journaler or a reader or writer. I never thought any of that because I did not do that in school. I did not do that when I was younger. It took me. I read my first book on my own at like 18, and it was after my cousin's death. That's what it took.
Mm,
That's the pain and the negative experience that it took for me to grow.
mm,
Um, and I read The Alchemist. That was my first book, and I was like, oh, I
nice,
like this.
nice.
And then I started, you know, picking up other books. And then, like, our last apartment in the States, we had affirmations on our mirror, we had affirmations on our shower door, we had affirmations on the door going out.
Mm-hmm.
And we even had
Everywhere.
affirmations on our ceilings. Like, we literally cut out like a piece of like a poster board, and we wrote the affirmations and we put tape on them and we stuck them like on top of our ceilings, basically places that we knew we were going to be going to. We had written affirmations on our refrigerator about like food and health.
Mm-hmm.
And so seeing that every day was cool. And we would switch it up whenever we felt like we weren't really feeling good anymore. We would just kind of reword it so it would feel good.
Mm, that's
And
nice.
then here in Bali, I think it's been more prayer than affirmations aloud, but I really do believe saying affirmations in the mirror is very healing. Like, just
Mm-hmm.
looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I love you, and seeing yourself,
Yeah, yeah,
seeing who you really are is so powerful.
yeah. Doing that and not blinking and not looking away.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
look into your pupil. It's so
yeah,
weird. It's so weird. It's like, oh my
yeah.
God, our eyes look like a galaxy, like the universe, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So I'm like,
Yeah,
look into your pupil and be like, I love you. I
yeah.
forgive you. You know, like
I am at
whatever you're
peace.
feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
beautiful. I'm
Mm-hmm.
worthy.
Yeah.
I'm protected, you know?
What are you reading right now?
This book actually, I have it. It's called Today's Wisdom.
Is it
It's
a
like,
daily affirmational?
it's
All the
not,
heavy, all the heavy hitters: Deepak Chopra, Louise Hay,
yeah.
Wayne Dyer.
Wayne
Okay.
Dyer, exactly. So basically, this interviewer who has worked with them over the years put together this book. Um, Louise Hay. So each chapter is different. One chapter is Louise Hay. The next chapter is Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra. And it's kind of just like the interviewer asking questions and getting their answers from their philosophy and how they think.
Mm.
And this book
Um.
has really helped me this week. I
Yeah.
needed this read. The
Yeah.
teacher appeared.
Yeah. Why do you say that? Why did you need it?
Because just social media and just
Girl.
getting so much information, and me being such an earth sign, I need to ground myself, and how I
Mm-hmm.
ground myself and how I stay at peace is through reading.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the messages always show up. Hold on, they're like chanting or giving instructions or something right now.
Oh,
um
it
but
sounds. It
yeah,
all
I
sounds like prayer to me.
but it's not though. The only reason why I know it's not is because I pass by these temples when they're like saying stuff like this, and I can see people crossing the street, or like,
Mm-hmm.
they're bringing something up to the temple. They do during Ramadan though. Like, I went to a different island in Indonesia, and they chant for hours,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like during times in the morning, early in the morning, in the evening, and I didn't even know, like, this is why I love traveling so much. You get the culture experience like firsthand. When I went to Gili, which is like a beautiful island where the water is really blue, they're Muslim there. Most of Indonesia is Muslim. Bali
Mm,
is the exception where they practice Hinduism.
mm.
And they were fasting, and I didn't know they couldn't even drink their own spit. Like the guy, one of our tour guides kept spitting, and he was like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "I can't drink my spit." I was like,
Wow.
"Wow, talk
I had
about
no clue. That's a
fast."
real fast.
Yes, like
And
I
he was your
can't even
tour
drink my
guide.
spit. Hmm.
Like, talk about
We
running
went
on faith,
we went
okay?
snorkeling. Yes,
Like,
like and when I tell you the sun drops, they don't care if you're coming in there for food. They are eating. Like, I'm sorry, but you gonna have to let me eat for a
if
second,
I'm not
you know?
swallowing my spit, I'm gonna eat. I don't care who's around. We stop dropping and eating, okay?
Hmm.
Wait, so back to what you were. I wanted to hear your answer on why you felt like you needed it this week. Just the
Oh,
the sensory overload.
the sensory overload, and I think when you're growing and you're learning, you have to never stop. You can't think that
Hmm.
you've reached a certain point to where you know everything, where you don't need reminders or you don't need a message. So for me, picking up this book, Today's Wisdom, I was like, okay, I need to remember that it's not only a global thing that's happening, this is a universal thing that is happening.
Hmm.
And whenever I can like shift my perspective into a universal perspective, a peace always comes over me where I know all is well. And I know that us as a planet, we're contributing to something greater than ourselves. We're putting energy out into the universe. And we're not the only ones out here. Like we live in a
Okay.
huge ass universe. So it's
Hmm.
like when you can remember that, you can you can get out of fear because it's like, okay, if I die, all is well still, you know?
Hmm.
Um, we're not our body, so it's like our true self is not bounded by time or space. So
We're
when you
infinite.
can, yeah, and if you can get rid of the idea of death being scary, death isn't scary, it's just a thought and it's just the unknown. So once I can just like accept that we're all gonna die anyways, and however
Boom.
I go out, it's like how I go out, and I trust the process, and I trust that I'm doing my life's work.
Gems,
And
gems, gems, gems.
yeah, so
For real, acceptance and trusting the process right now. That's it.
you know what was a trigger for me this week, and I think I'm grateful for it. Hearing that it is more susceptible to elders made me
Hmm.
check in with my grandparents more, and it also made me self reflect. Like, wow, this is really sad that I haven't done this as often.
Mm,
You
mm,
know, and I found a video in my phone of like my grandma telling me happy birthday, and it just made me want to cry because I'm like, one day I'm not gonna have them here, and for
hmm.
me to have this fear now all of a sudden is just ridiculous. Like we should be calling our grandparents more if we still have them, telling them I love them, and just listening to them. They're lonely too, you know.
Girl,
A
this
lot of their
is
peers and family have are not here no longer, so it just really made me like check in with myself. Like, how do you want to become a better granddaughter or a better daughter or a
mm,
better sister, or a better friend?
mm,
And
yeah.
so that triggered me because I was like, wow, you thought you were this great person, and then really you haven't even been checking in as much, you know? So it's
You're a great
allowed me to work
person.
on my relationship.
Compassion. Remember,
Yeah, yeah,
compassion,
yeah, yeah,
compassion,
yeah, for sure.
compassion.
But also reminder.
Yo, I hear you, and with me saying compassion, it's kind of like a reminder for everyone right now because this is a time of congratulations, you're seeing yourself, right? So whatever
Mm-hmm.
you're seeing, be compassionate. Do not drag yourself. It's okay. It's all
Mm-hmm.
right. If you want to be a better person, you're seeing things within yourself that you don't like, that you realize you've been doing, but you haven't had the time to sit with yourself and really, really see yourself, and you're seeing it. It's cool. It's okay. You're human. You are a spirit having a human experience. So just remember, as we journey through, transitioning and evolving, because it's not that we're becoming a better person. We're people, right? we're
Mm-hmm.
good we're good people, period. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we're just evolving to different levels. You are that better person already because you even have the desire to be a better person, we'll say, right?
That part, well said.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
yeah, it's so we have to have a lot of grace, and we have to have a lot of compassion for ourselves as we traverse through these times of uncertainties, and we catch ourselves being triggered by whatever we're being triggered by, especially when it comes to fear. Okay, because I have moments where I catch myself and then I come right back to faith, right? Um, I think having the compassion to even having more so having the self-awareness to even say, oh man, I'm going there, hold on, let me reel back to what I know is real, which is the reality that I create, right? Because this is our world, you know, so we create our worlds with every thought that we think, every affirmation that we say, every action that we take, every word that we speak. We are creating our reality in existence. So there's so many parts that are going on right now when it comes to choosing faith over fear, right? And if you've
Mhm.
never chosen faith over fear, it's like where would somebody start, right? I've been thinking about that lately. If survival
faith
is
of a
all,
faith of a mustard seed. Like it goes back to that. Like you don't even have to know how to start. Just be willing to receive. If you can just be willing, like, all right, God, I don't know where to start. Show me. Just be willing to receive. It will
miracles.
come up for you. It will come up for you.
Yeah.
So if you are a person that chooses fear all the time, you know, fear is not started by just like one thought. It's like an idle thought that turns into, like one teardrop to like a puddle to a lake to an ocean. So you can either like sink and drown in fear, or you can choose love and faith and like float on top of the ocean, like I
It's
don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm floating.
yeah, it's like why not? Why not? What do
Mhm.
you by choosing faith, what do you have to lose? Like,
Mhm.
can you imagine how good it could get by choosing faith? Like, you don't
Mhm.
even know how good it could be if you allow something higher than yourself to just show you how good life could be. So it's like,
Mhm.
why not? Why not? Why not choose something different today? Whether it's
Mhm.
deciding to sit and meditate or deciding to, read a book or take a course or just or prayer or writing
Or
affirmations
visualization.
or yeah, creating a vision board, right?
Mhm.
Or even just sitting and in a moment of just quiet and stillness, just visualizing your life, right?
I would also like suggest like a lot of people have anxiety. So if you're wanting to resort to just being yourself and kind of like isolating from everyone, like I would encourage you to like call that friend that you can count on to like bring you out of your darkness or like help you shift your perspective. Like everyone has that one friend we know we can call and feel good after we hang up. And like I would suggest that if you have a best friend or if you have a cousin or sister or sibling, like someone who can just shift you out of your own thoughts.
Yeah, it's time. Everybody, real quick, it
Mm-hmm.
is time to show up and do the work for yourself. Nobody is coming to save you. There's no life rafts. There is no human being that is going to do the work for you. Somebody cannot have the faith for you. It's time for you to have the faith that lives within you, that voice
Yeah.
within you, that is that knowing within you. Like, you might not be a religious or spiritual person, but something guided you to this video. I guarantee you something guided you to this video, and that same something that guided you to it is that same mustard seed faith that you need to keep going and to make that paradigm shift within you. Before you know it,
Mm-hmm.
after watching this video, Saundra and I, you'll be on like a Wayne Dyer or
Louise Hay.
Abraham Hicks video. Like, you 20 videos in on YouTube and they talking about all kind of stuff. Like, that's how it
Mm-hmm.
works. It's like you just be like you said, be open to receive.
Mm-hmm. Just be willing.
Yeah, that's real. Faith is faith is something else. It's something beautiful when you allow it to just be that.
And at the core of you, you are love. At the core of everyone's being, we are love. It's like a birth. It's a God-given right. So don't let our illusions, which is fear, overpower what we truly are in our essence.
Yeah.
There's like this really big bug flying by right now.
It's testing you. It's testing
Right.
your
I'm
fear.
just having faith that, you're going to keep it moving.
That's real. Oh man, that's real.
So living in other
Oh,
countries, you just recognize so many things that you don't see in the States, like birds, lizards, just random stuff, nature.
Do you and Kristen do offerings in the morning?
No, we don't put up the offerings, but we have offerings like at our door.
Yeah, that's cool. Have
Did
you?
you
Do
do
you?
offerings when you came out here?
I wanted to. I just didn't have the materials to do it. I would have done it every morning if I could.
Yeah.
I loved how they put out the offering. I loved how spiritual it was in Ubud. It was going to Bali was exactly what I needed to remember what is important in life.
Mm-hmm.
Not all this Western materialistic, consumeristic, like consumerism. No, like the family,
The
the love,
community.
the community that turns into family, the prayer,
Mm.
the thanks, the gratitude, the
The
just
rituals.
the rituals. One of the things I said when I got back to LA was my life was going to be more ritual on a daily basis. Meditation in the
Mm-hmm.
morning, meditation at night. I say the same prayer every time before I get out of bed. I go through my gratitude list. I get up, I come to my altar, I light my incense or my sage. I say good morning to all of my ancestors and my guides and my angels, just welcoming them into my space. And then I sit down and I ask God, what is your will for me today? What do you want me to do today? What do you want me to say today? How can I be of service to you? And it's very interesting because of lately, the answer is I just want you to be still. I just want you to be
Mm.
here.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to be.
Which might not necessarily been what you would have wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if the world was still moving how it normally moves, like we try to be in control of everything instead of being still and just listen.
Yeah, but not but yes. And Saundra, do you know how hard it's been to? Because I'm like, I'm your local light deal. I should be making content. I should be putting this out. I should be putting that out. I got the time. I should be doing this. And then I'm like, God, like, what do you want me to do? And it's like, nothing. I want you to enjoy your. Do you know what God's been telling me? I've been painting. I've been doing a lot of painting. I've been doing a lot of yoga and writing, but really painting. I've been doing a lot of like creating with my hands and paint and taking materials in my world and putting it on canvas. And when I tell you, it's like it brings me to center every time, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
present. Like most of the paintings that I do, they're first visions that I bring to life, right? And it typically they don't take much time for me to create. Like I did this one back here and it was like once I had the
It's
vision and I
beautiful.
brought all of the materials together, I did it really, really quickly. These paintings that I'm being asked to do, they're meticulous. And like it's like I've never had the desire to paint as like meticulous and as still as I'm having to be and as much time as it's taking me to sit with my canvas. And I was talking to a friend today and I'm like, yeah, God just wants me to be still and be with myself and, be present in my body and be here with the paint. And that's
Mm-hmm.
just what we're doing. Like, I'm not even questioning it because it's bringing me joy in my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
I
that's
think
what's,
that's what a lot of people are feeling right now too, like the pressure of putting out content. But it's like, what's the point of putting out content if it's not authentic and intuitive, and something that really is coming from your core? It's
yes.
not going to be as impactful as something that is like, I'm supposed to put this message out there.
Yeah,
That's
if
how
it
I feel with
doesn't
my
come from
YouTube right now. I'm like, I gotta tap into YouTube, but I'm also like, I want it to be meaningful.
yeah. Yeah. I heard somebody said today, don't don't do anything if it doesn't come from your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do anything because you feel like you should do it. If you're going to move your body, if you're going to work out, if you're going to write something, if you're going to create something, do it because your heart is telling you to do it, not
Mm-hmm.
because you think you should do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Do it for your health and wellness. Like, if like for me, the one time I went out this week, the first time I went to go run, and for me, I'm like, I have to get out of this house. My
mhm,
spirit is like drained, and I want to move my body because I know when I go for a run, to me, it's a mental exercise. It strengthens my mental muscle
mhm,
because I don't necessarily want to run, but when I start
Mhm.
running, I feel better. And I have to push
Mhm.
myself mentally, like, okay, keep going, keep going. You can physically do it, you know? And
Mhm.
then after, I feel successful. Like, okay, I succeeded at this run. It was fun. It brought my awareness to the present moment. I was grateful. When I stopped, I literally practiced my gratitude. Like, thank you for these trees. Thank you for this fresh air. Thank you for my body. Thank you
Yeah.
for loving me, body. You know, I was just more present
Okay.
and aware.
Okay. For real.
Yeah.
I think affirmations and giving thanks and gratitude, that's like it's like drinking water. They go hand
Hmm.
in hand, right? Take care of the body, take care of the mind, take care of the spirit, take care of the emotional, all of it, all in one. It's like
Hmm.
making the choice to love yourself enough to feed your body nutritious, food, and make the choice to love yourself enough to speak life into your life. Make it, love yourself enough to take the step to tell yourself how much you love yourself and affirm your life in the mirror. And it's like all these things we do, it's like to love ourselves enough to want to do that, to want to take care of ourselves, to want to keep going when we don't know what's going to happen, but doing it
Hmm.
just because you exist still. You still exist. You still exist, and that's a gift. You are a gift to someone, you know?
Hmm.
Like, you don't even know how much light, love, and joy you are to someone's life by just being who you are.
A word.
It's like we shouldn't take that for granted just
Hmm.
because we
Just like the
feel
affirmation I was
unsafe.
telling you earlier too. It's like
Which
I wanted
one?
to share that you were telling me in a previous conversation how, like, you know, feeling the pressure of like being your local light dealer as someone who needs to put out content, because
Yeah.
there was that meme like, okay, light workers, where are you at? But I was like,
Yeah.
there's affirmation that says, I do not try to heal my friends, I do my own mental work and I heal myself. This is the best thing I can do for others.
Mm,
And I feel like everyone needs to practice that. It's like, do what you can do to heal and not survive, because I know people like are trying to do what they can do to survive, but like do what you can do to heal, so then you can be beneficial to everyone around you, everyone you come in contact with. It's not only for your selfish reasons. Like, I mean, to me, like surviving is like a selfish thing, you know. um for example, people who are still, you know, gathering in large groups or house hopping and all that, that's not beneficial to society right now. So it's like, heal, sit your ass down, do the work that you need to work on for yourself so it can benefit everyone else around you as well.
yeah, and please stop distracting yourself. There is still so much that people are choosing to distract themselves from the healing. Just
And don't tag
like,
me in any challenges because I can't do 10 push-ups like that, okay?
listen, I can do 10 push-ups. Don't tag me in
Struggle.
anything. I don't want to be tagged in anything right now. It's like sensory overload. I am a highly sensitive person. I am a highly sensitive person. When it's too much going on in the world, I love being by myself. I love being by
Mhm.
myself. It's not a problem for me. I've been setting myself up for this since I was born. I just want to let y'all know I love it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, like I've also taken out the time over the last few years to do a lot of shadow work and a lot of healing. And I know when I need to take myself out of an isolated space and pick up the phone and call someone. Pick up the phone and call someone who can hold space for me, or pick up the
Mm.
phone and call someone. Or I'm still doing therapy. I just had a session with my therapist on Saturday. We're transitioning to video conferencing, or we did an over the phone session. Like, I'm still taking the measures that I need to do to take care of myself.
Mhm.
Man, I don't even know where I was going with this. I'm like completely blank on that.
Sorry, he started talking and threw you off.
Um, Man, nah, I really don't know where I was going with that.
Just take care of yourself.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you though? Do you
Mhm.
have affirmations for, oh, yeah, yes, the distractions, okay? I feel like a lot of people are going through a lot of anxiety and fear, And instead of allowing themselves to feel and learning how to move through it, they're distracting themselves, right?
Mhm.
You have affirmations for people who are going through that level of anxiety, or that level of like uncertainty? But
Well, my favorite three affirmations that I've been practicing for like 5 years, probably since I learned them, are from Louise Hay, and it's all is well, everything is working for my highest good, and I am safe. And I
yeah,
always tell people those. So I feel like it's an easy affirmation to remember, and it's also very reaffirming
yeah.
for what's really working out. But I did write down some affirmations I wanted to share that I got from this book from Louise Hay. One of them is, I release others to experience whatever is meaningful to them, and I am free to create that which is meaningful to me.
Yes.
Meaning, at this time right now, everyone's trying to tell people how to live their life and what they should do, what they shouldn't do. And I feel like, do what's meaningful for you and to you, which is going to create your experience. Don't worry about anyone else.
Can you say that one
Um,
more time? The affirmation?
yes, 1 second. Here we go. So it goes, can y'all hear that? Can you hear that? Loud? Okay. I release others to experience whatever is meaningful to them, and I'm free to create which is meaningful to me.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah.
I radiate acceptance, and I'm deeply loved by others. Love surrounds me and protects me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told you, like, I do not try to heal my friends. I do my own mental work and heal myself. This is the best thing I can do for others. And the last one, if I dwell on what I don't want, then I'll get more of it. I affirm only the good life.
Mm, I affirm only the good life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that.
Yes, yes, yes.
I love it.
Kristen gave us some. She was like, put mine in there this week.
Okay, go ahead.
She's reading A Course in Miracles. Have you ever read that book?
I have not read A Course in Miracles fully. I haven't.
Um, it's a book I need to put on my reading list too, because like everyone talks about it. All of the, people that I learned from have talked about
Mary
it.
Marion, Marion Williamson, her whole work is devoted to that. A Return to Love. Have you heard that If poem? Like some of the most,
No, I haven't.
yeah, that's,
I
I've got to
haven't,
read it
but
too.
some of the stuff that Kristen gave me, I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Run it.
So in this book, it says, no person, group, situation, or condition has the power to take away your happiness. The experience of joy is your God-given right. They can try, but they cannot remove your peace unless you give them that power. Peace was created for you, given to you by its creator. And I was like, that's beautiful. And if you understand that your happiness is independent of the actions of others, your body will express vitality.
Yeah. Yo, that that is such a reminder that like the power is within us all. We
Mm-hmm.
dictate. Nobody can tell you who you are. Nobody can tell you how to feel. Nobody, that everything is a choice. Everything is our power. And once you, yeah, you just got to claim that knowing within you, claim that power within you, call back your power in all the situations in which you've allowed people to take your power. Nobody can make you
Yes.
feel any type of way. You allow people to make you feel anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so powerful to just be in the knowing of who we are, being in the knowing that I can literally affirm I am at peace with myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
I am a radiating beam of light. Like source is my source. All is well. Everything is always working out for me. That all of it, all we're doing is affirming our life. And on top of everything that we're saying, we're increasing the frequency of our vibration. So those things that are not vibrating at the level that we're vibrating, they can't even touch us. All that lower
Mm-hmm.
frequency bullshit can't even touch you when you are vibrating at a high frequency. Like and that's the thing, when you sit here and you affirm your life and you say all is well, you're putting these blinders on. You can walk through the streets and you can't even see what's not even what's not even vibrating at that frequency, because you are constantly creating this life. You're constantly pulling light into your life. You're speaking light into your life. You're attracting people who are vibrating at that same frequency, and all of a sudden you're having conversations with new people that you didn't even know were reading the same book as you or talking the same language as you, and you're like, oh, this is so cool. Yeah, you did that. You created that. You called that person
Yeah.
into your existence because you
Mm-hmm.
were vibrating at that frequency.
Important message.
It's like,
You have any affirmations you want to close out with,
um,
or mantras that you want to share with people?
I mean, I've said a lot of them. Source is my source. That's a big one. Or if you want to say God is my plug, source is my source. Source is my source. Source
And
is my
source is
source.
abundant. Don't have
Oh,
a scarcity mindset. Source is
always.
abundant.
Let's see.
And these aren't things that we're making up. This is like universal law stuff.
How I perceive my external world reflects what's going on in my internal world. And that's a self-awareness check.
Yeah, I love
That is
that.
a self-awareness check. And I am at peace with myself. I am at peace with myself.
Same.
I am at
I'm at
peace with
peace. I'm at
myself.
peace with everything that's going on right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Acceptance is the only answer. And the universe is always rooting for me, okay? The universe is always rooting for me, wanting me to make the best decisions for myself, keeps throwing me synchronicities and showing me the way and guiding me and giving me signs. It's always there. Everything I need is always there. Everything I
Mm.
need, I'm always taken care of. So yeah, guys, there's a lot of uncertainty. Or, you can choose to say that everything is always working out for me. Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty and I'm always taken care of. Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty and everything is always working out for my highest good. Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty and I feel at peace within. It's the choice is yours, the power is in your hands. Thanks
All is
for
well.
Yeah, all is well. Thanks for coming on the show, Saundra. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Is there
Love and
anything you want
light
to
to
leave?
you.
Thank you. Thank you. I always appreciate you reminding me all is well. All is well. I think your friends and anybody who comes into your life, that man, you really are a blessing. You are
Oh,
a
thank
blessing.
you.
Yeah,
I
they're
appreciate that.
reflections. So thank you for your time. Everyone stay lifted, stay in the light.
Yes. You can follow me at Love Saundra on Instagram or on my YouTube channel to keep up with me.
What's up, you beautiful beings? This is my first vlog of the original podcast of Wake the Fuck Up. And I ended that a bit abruptly. Just wanted to come on here and say, if you guys want to reach out to Saundra Alexander, you can reach her on her Instagram at Love Saundra. You can find her YouTube there. I will post references. You guys, you know where to catch me on Instagram, your local light dealer. You can reach me if you have any questions, you want to reach out to me, any feedback, comment below, subscribe below, or you can reach me at yourlocallightdealer@gmail.com. This resonated with you, share it with your loved ones, share it with your friends. We've got time on our hands. If you guys have any feedback for me, let me know. It's always appreciated. Love and light to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If there's anything I could leave you with, is to remind you that inner peace is the new success. In these uncertain of times, try faith. There's nothing else that's left. Try faith. You guys be blessed. Namaste. Thank you.